What's up everyone and welcome back to episode number 12 of SW Answers. This is my bi-weekly Q&A series that I do here on the channel where you guys submit your questions in the comment section down below and I go ahead and answer them. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like if you do end up enjoying today's video. But let's get straight into the questions. So first off, Stephen asked if there's going to be any more Rebels based sets, and I honestly don't think we're ever going to see sort of like a full wave of sets again. It's past its time. I know there's not going to be any more seasons of the actual show, so I very highly doubt we're going to see a full wave, but I feel like we could see the odd set sprinkled in here and there. I'd really love to see them remake the Ghost. I think that would be something that would sell really well with sort of like the whole crew in there. I know a load of those minifigures are worth a ton, so it'd be really great to see them remake that in a more affordable way. But other than that, I don't think there's going to be a full wave of Rebel sets, especially because I do think that the early Rebel sets specifically didn't sell very well, so I think that's why LEGO possibly won't do any more in the future. So Brickanix asked what my favourite type of LEGO Star Wars content to make is, and whether that lines up with what my subscribers enjoy watching and what does well in the analytics, and I think it does. I think my favourite is building mocks and clone videos. Obviously a lot of videos that I do fit into those two categories right there, and if you look at some of my most viewed videos, they would also fall into those categories, so I believe that my subscribers do enjoy watching, especially mocks. I think they do really well always on the channel, and they seem to do well over a sustained period of time. They aren't just videos that sort of do well straight away and then drop off. They are videos that sort of do well for a long time and continue to get views, especially the Jedi Temple. You guys can see it's already on 25,000 views, something like that, so thank you so much for all the support on that. Yeah, I think mocks and also clone based videos are my favourite ones to do. So Pancake asked how I got into decaling, and also another great question, what is my favourite brand to use? So to answer the first question, I actually have been sort of wanting to get into decaling for a long time now. I know it's a really affordable way to get custom clone troopers, but I was always too scared to do it, and I always just never sort of bit the bullet and went for it. There are a load of people that inspired me to get into it, such as like my friends like Brick Freak and Brick Productions. They really sort of I watched them making really awesome clones, and even commissioned a few from Brick Freak, and I really got inspired to do them, but then I never really thought I'd be able to do it, and now I've tried it and I really do enjoy it. But that's how I got into it. With regards to my favourite decal brand, I've only really used AV, Jonak and Thicky, so I know there's a load of other ones out there that I haven't experienced, so I can't really comment on those. But out of those three, I think AV is my favourite, just purely because they have the most detail and everything. But I do really enjoy Jonak and Thicky Bricky decals, specifically more because they sort of match LEGO's style. I really enjoyed the Stormtroopers specifically from Thicky Bricky and the 2020 style from Jonak. So Beanie Boy asked who I think the most underrated clone is, and I saw a couple comments on this one saying maybe 99. I think that's a great answer, but my answer would be Fordo. I think Fordo was absolutely awesome. If you guys haven't watched the 2003 Clone Wars TV show, I definitely recommend you check it out because Fordo is absolutely awesome. I'll try and put a clip up on screen of him sort of like tearing up some super battle droids, and I think he's probably the most underrated just purely because of how little people know about that TV show and maybe have watched it compared with the newer TV show. So Flufflepuff asked if decaling is hard to do, and I've actually made a whole video answering this question, so hopefully that'll answer your question. I'll leave a link to it up in the corner right there or at the end if you want to check that out. So Fishy and Arf Trooper both asked about where the best place to order decals is, and I think that really depends on where you are in the world. If you're in the US, you can just order it straight from the suppliers like Jonak and AV. I'd say Jonak is probably one of the best places to order from because you can get all of the Jonak decals, all the AV decals, Clone Army Custom stuff, even Clone Army Customs figures. So if you're in the US, Jonak is definitely one of the best places to go. But if you're in the UK, use Blue Harvest bricks. They are honestly amazing. I know I'm partnered with them, but I'm a bit biased, but I really do think they are doing a fantastic job in the UK. Obviously, we would have to usually wait weeks or months to get shipping from the US over to us in the UK. So if you're from the UK or Europe, I definitely would recommend Blue Harvest bricks. And you can always use my code SWBricks10 for 10% off as well. So GLE asked how LEGO will change to fit technology in the future. And I think they're already doing that with a lot of stuff like Mario and that sort of thing. They're sort of adapting to that sort of thing, and they tried to do it with Hidden Side, I know as well, but that didn't work quite as well. But one thing I really hope is that LEGO just don't really change too much. I think it really stands out that they have sort of stood the test of time. Over generations and generations, they have been making the same sort of product. I know they sort of adapted with the times and changed little bits here and there, especially with digital instructions. I think that's a really, really big thing. However, I think it's really important that they don't change too much from their original base design. So CT4747 asked a really cool question. If I could be shrunk down and transported into any one of my mocks, what would I choose? And I definitely think I'd choose the Temple. It'd be pretty cool to just roam around there and see what it's like as a sort of minifigure. I think that'd be pretty sick. Other than that, I think if I could choose anyone's mock ever, I think I would choose Solid Brick Studios Mandalore mock. I think that'd be pretty sick to explore, or maybe even Kashyyyk as well. Both of those mocks would be really awesome, just like climb around and have a look inside, and there's a ton of it going on. But if it had to be one of my mocks, I'd definitely choose the Temple. Hello, I've just got a couple more questions to do.
What does SW stand for again?
Star Wars.
That's in Southwest. You've got
That's going in the video. Kid Lego Legend asked what my favourite video game is, and at the moment I'd probably say I only really play FIFA, Warzone and Battlefront. But I'd say if I had to choose one ever, I would say the original Battlefront 2 or Black Ops 2 would be my favourite 2 video games ever. Call of Duty Black Ops or the original Star Wars Battlefront from 2005. Both those games were absolutely amazing and very nostalgic to me as well. I also loved playing SSX, which is a really good snowboarding game back on the PS2, which is a fantastic game. I don't know if any of you guys know about that, but let me know in the comments if you've ever played that. Right, so Nico asked about the Gina Carano situation, and honestly, I don't know too much about it. I haven't watched a ton of stuff about it. I don't really know exactly what she said. I've heard a few things. I think the one thing I will say is that I hope she doesn't get recasted. I really hate it when TV shows and films recast people and they sort of completely change from one show or one season to the next. But yeah, I'm not really completely caught up with how and why she got fired. I don't really know exactly what she said, so I can't really comment on that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. So BZ Briggs asked what my favourite and least favourite thing about Lego Star Wars is, and honestly, I think my favourite thing is just being able to sort of have the creativity and build whatever you want. I think that's my favourite thing, as well as collecting as well. With regards to my least favourite, I definitely have to say it is the price and sort of like the addictiveness of collecting Lego. I don't know about you guys, but I spend a ton of money on Lego and it probably isn't healthy. So, but then again, if I ever do need the money back, I can always sell it because it really does hold its value well. So that's another good thing about Lego, I guess. So Yellow Lantern asked if I could make a non-licensed theme, what would it be? And I think I would honestly love to see, I know they've done sort of castles and stuff, but a load of medieval stuff, like fitting with the blacksmith that we saw recently this year in the last few weeks. I think it came out. I think that'd be really awesome to make like a whole medieval village. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. Maybe even like some castle walls, but super detailed sort of thing. Maybe even a castle like Helm's Deep, but just sort of like in that medieval style rather than Lord of the Rings. I think that'd be absolutely awesome. I'd love to see that one day. So Short first asked about my opinion on gaining subscribers so fast, and I think it's pretty awesome. Obviously I gained a few from that short, but other than that, since then, I've really been gaining subs quickly, and I think it's mainly due to the Jedi Temple doing so well and really sort of like picking up traction with that, and then also just putting out loads of content. It's just, I think there's tons of more videos that I've got out there now compared to what I did maybe 6 months ago. It's probably more than double the amount of videos that are out there sort of finding people. So I think that's really why I've been gaining subs so quickly. But yeah, honestly, I really appreciate all the support. And if you're new, then welcome to the SW Briggs channel. I hope you enjoy your stay here. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed. It's really awesome. So Zebra asked what a mock that I really want to make is, and I think I've said it a couple times, but I really want to do a big Imperial base. Whether that's sort of just like a base in the hill or a landscape, or whether it's actually a base that we've seen in canon TV shows or films. I don't really mind. I think I definitely just want to do something to do with Imperials in the very near future. Somewhere where I can store all my TIE fighters, fighter tanks, all that sort of thing. I think that'd be really sick to do. The Bricklord asked if I've ever considered doing a Old Republic mock, and I definitely think that'd be awesome. I don't really know too much about the Old Republic. It's not really an era I've delved too deeply into. However, I've seen some pretty cool mocks based off of it in the past, so maybe that is something I'll consider doing in the future. So TJ Does YouTube asked what I'd recommend as a starter UCS set, and I would say go for some of the smaller ones. However, even those are really high in price right now, so I'd possibly consider just going for ones that are on the shelves right now, because when they retire, they just shoot up in value. So I'd say you'd be better off just trying to get some of the ones that are on shelves right now. Maybe the UCS A-Wing is not a bad place to start, because that's probably the cheapest one that is on shelves right now, I believe. Other than that, Mos Eisley Cantina, those sort of Master Builder sets could be a slightly different alternative you could go down if you're looking more for minifigs. But if you're looking for designs and stuff like that, maybe go with Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. That was a good one. It was slightly smaller and maybe more affordable nowadays. I don't think that's too expensive to get now, so maybe go for that one if you are on a budget. So Max says, have I ever thought about building vehicle mocks? And I don't think it's really something that I am very good at. I've designed a couple of like smaller vehicles in the past. I really don't think it's where my skill sets sort of are. I've never really done it. I would maybe want to do it in the future, but I don't think I could ever build huge scale vehicles like that turbo tank you were talking about. I think that'd be really cool, but I'm going to leave it to the experts, I think. I'd love to include that sort of thing in mocks, but I prefer to sort of build like landscapes and stuff where I can fit buildings and vehicles and that sort of thing into, and even minifigs as well. But there's definitely other people's mocks that I really want to use in the future, like some of those ACTs, gunships, that sort of thing from Brick Vault and those other places. I really do want to include in mocks in the future, but yeah, I definitely don't think that is really where my skill set is, and I think it'd be a bit too tricky for me, so I'll leave that to the experts. So the Rise of the Bricks asked what my favourite LEGO year is, and I think the generic answers are sort of like 2008, those original Clone Wars waves. That was a really sick wave when you look back at the sets. Also, the 2013 one is a very popular one. I want to throw a curveball out there and say sort of like the 2016 Rogue One sets was an absolutely sick wave. We got some cool battle packs, we got some big sets, we got some small sets, some good UCS sets, we got a load of different stuff that year, and I think that was definitely one that I would put up there in the best years of recent times for sure. The final question comes in from Blobby, and he asked what my clone armor color would be, and I'd probably say it would be blue. I love the 501st, maybe different markings to the 501st, but I think I'd go with blue because that's probably my favorite color. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy this episode of SW Answers. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment down below with your question for next week's episode. As always, thank you for all the support you've been giving me recently. I think last week's episode hit 1,000 views, which is I think the first time for an SW Answers video, so thank you so much for that. But thank you for watching, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.